Welcome to episode 5 of Power Director on the Samsung S8, how to insert lower third text and graphics. On Power Director it is pretty easy to insert graphics. We actually do it as a title rather than as a lower third. You don't have a lower third option, but we can add in a title and then swap that down and edit that as a lower third. So the reason we want to have the text in the lower third is to let people know who your interviewee is. So you want to give them their name and you want to give them the job title or the company that they come from. So we have Joanne here, so we want to put Joanne's name scrolling across the bottom and the fact that she's from the Digital Training Institute. So how we do it is we use the overlay button again. So we click into our overlay menu, and this time instead of clicking on video like we did with the B-roll, we want to click title. Now Power Director, as I said, it gives you a title rather than a lower third. So we're going to use these, so they're fairly intuitive. These are all different templates that are there in the options. The one I found that works the best and the easiest and looks the best is the trans left. So we select trans left, and then if you click the little play button here, you'll actually get a preview of what it looks like. Click back, and we click the plus button. It'll be dropped in onto your footage. So now we press play.
I'm here in Druids Glen in County Wicklow for the EPP Group Bureau meeting.
We'll see that the lower third has come in. Now, we don't want that because it's over in the center of our page, so we're going to show you now how to go about editing it. So we click on our timeline. You'll see that the menu down the left changes. We actually click the text on the screen itself, and that toggles up our keyboard. So we want to change, and we want to put our interviewee's name in. So we click in Joanne. Sweeney Work. And we want to let people know that she's from the Digital Training Institute. Okay, so once you have your text in and you're happy with that, you just click the button and you'll see that the text has changed. Okay, so we can do some, let's click back out again. Okay, we can do some editing with this now. So once it's highlighted in the timeline, we can click our editing tool and we can click title designer. And that brings up all our options. So we can change the font. We click in at the default. We can change the font. There's a number of different fonts we can use. I recommend something that's fairly easy to read, like this one. We can make it bold. We can, by selecting the toggle on the options on the bottom, we can make it italic. We can select central, right, left, and then we have our center. We can, if we move it or it's moved about, we can center it again. We can also change the color by toggling on the color lines. You have preset colors as well. And we can change the opacity. Okay, on the bottom left hand side here we can also put some shadow on. So we click in here, we get the shadow, toggle that it's on. We want the fill shadow, and then we want to move the distance down to about 0.5. What that does is it actually makes the text stand out from the background a lot easier. So they're the options that I like to choose for my lower third to use in Power Director. So we want to resize this and remove it. So you actually just click and hold your finger on the actual text on the screen itself, and you can move the text around. If we hit the little toggle buttons here in the corner, we can drag down and resize by holding your finger and dragging in on the toggle button, and we can just move this over here to the corner off to the side. Now we go back and we play.
I'm here in Druids Glen in County Wicklow for the EPP Group Bureau meeting over the course of...
Okay, we see how the text came in there at the bottom. Now maybe we want that was a little bit short and we want it to stay on the screen for longer. We toggle again, we just tap on the text option in the timeline, and we use our little toggle buttons to drag it out, the same way as we did with our footage. And that'll extend the length of the time that the text is on the screen.
I'm here in Druids Glen in County Wicklow for the EPP Group Bureau meeting over the course of 2 days. The main conversations that...
You can see there that it's a nice little effect using that preset template that you have on Power Director. So that's the one I'd recommend to use. And that's easy. That's how you put on your text and your lower thirds. It's the same way all the way along. You just pick the point where you want it to drop in on your timeline, and that's where you drop it in. Usually when you're doing an interview, you'd only put your lower third text on the first piece that you've done with your interviewee. You wouldn't do it on each piece that the interviewee is on. So in the very first clip that you have your interview on, that's when you're doing your introduction, and then you don't put it on there for the rest of the video. Okay, so now we're going to show you how to insert a logo or a graphic. So why you'd want to do that is if you want to put on a graphic or a logo for your branding and to brand out your video, to watermark your video so no one else can steal your content or use your content without you getting some kind of credit for it. And again, for marketing, so so everybody knows who did the video. You want to put on your own logo. It's pretty simple. You want to have your logo downloaded onto your phone as an image in a PNG file. So if you click in on your overlay again, this time instead of title or video, we want to select the image, and again we'll be brought to your camera. You select camera, we'll be brought into the images that are on your camera. Now I just have a PNG file of the EPP group logo, so we want to select that, and we select plus, and you're going to see now that it's dropped down, and PowerDirector will automatically give me a new timeline. We're at the maximum amount of timelines once you have 3, so PowerDirector only give you 3. So what we want to do is we want to move. You can resize your logo. I'm just going to resize by select your image, and the toggle buttons will come back up. Again, you can just move the corner using the corner toggle boxes to resize, and then we can just drag into position where we want. So we've got our graphics, so we've got here, our graphic will be on the start.
To Wicklow for the EPP Group Bureau meeting over the course of 2 days. The main conversations that the MEPs and the stakeholders are having is all about Brexit and its impact.
So now what we want to do is we want to make sure that that graphic stays on for the whole entire length of the video. So again, we select the image and we just drag out our toggle box right the way along throughout the whole video until the end. And you see here, once your image is on the lower timeline, it'll overlay on the ones that are above it. So you see here we have our main footage, we also have our B-roll, and as it's switching between our B-roll and main footage, our graphic is still in the corner and it hasn't moved. So that's how you insert your lower thirds, your names, text and graphics. On the next episode, we're going to show you how to export your project ready for use on social media and websites, etc.